Hello class, this is my extended persuasive speech. It's just a add-on from the brief persuasive speech. So a lot of the material will be the same, but I just added a little bit of personal experience to it. Okay. Are you looking for your new best friend? I found mine. This is Bruiser, and he's a purebred boxer. There are many ways to get an animal, but I believe the best way is to adopt. Adopting an animal could be one of the best decisions you make, because not only do you get a new best friend, you also are saving the life of an animal. And there are many reasons to adopt an animal. Some of them are the cost effectiveness of adopting versus buying, the type of dogs that are available to you when you adopt. Also, a big issue too is breeders versus pet shelters, the type of dogs you're getting, and the differences in how the dogs are raised and how they come about to be available to enter your home. So as I mentioned earlier, a good reason to adopt is cost. Shelters, they're about $100 on average, give or take a little bit, to adopt a pet. And a breeder can be anywhere from $600 and above. And pet stores are also in that same price range, $600 and above. And the money, whenever you adopt from a shelter, the money you're giving to the shelter is actually just going to cover the cost of the care for the animal prior to your adoption, as well as any shots and anything else they need. The money you give to a breeder whenever you buy from a breeder or a pet store is purely profit, and that's really why this dog is available to enter your home. It's just so they can make money. Many people are concerned with getting purebred animals, like Bruiser. He's a purebred boxer. I don't really know why they're concerned with that, but there's still ways to adopt purebred animals because there are special rescue foundations that deal with purebred animals. For instance, Hobo Care in Denver deals specifically with boxers. Whenever you go to a shelter to adopt, many people don't realize the different kinds of dogs you can adopt. They have small, medium, large dogs. They have active dogs. They have lazy dogs. And actually 25% of dogs in shelters are purebred dogs just given up by their owners. A big issue, and this is our second point of the speech, is what happens when we don't adopt. Most government shelters in America euthanize the animals after a certain amount of time if we do not adopt them. That's pretty much a way of saying they kill the animal just because nobody wanted it. Not because the animal did anything wrong, it's just nobody wanted the animal. And whenever you adopt an animal, the money you put towards adopting the animal goes into saving the next animal that comes in. That money's not there for profit, it's there to keep saving animals. And we need to consider that, again, when it comes to paying breeders for animals. It's just profit. When speaking of profit, when breeders present dogs to sell, they are doing it for profit, like I mentioned, and they're not as concerned about the animals and the welfare of the animals as a normal shelter would be. This can lead to major issues like puppy mills. And before I say this, not all breeders actually do this. Matter of fact, most of them don't, but there is a huge epidemic of puppy mills. Puppy mills are breeding grounds where they breed animals over and over and over again. The animals are maltreated, they're kept in cages out of the sunlight all day long. A lot of times they breed via incest, which leads you to genetic problems with your animals that you don't find out till later on down the road. And a big problem too is people think when they go to pet stores they're getting quality, healthy pets. What they fail to realize is a lot of pet stores throughout America get their animals from puppy mills. They're cheaper to buy, which means there's more profit on the back end when you turn around and sell them. There are many places to adopt, and I know a lot of people don't want to take the time to jump from shelter to shelter to shelter looking for an animal. There's a website now called petfinder.com, which It's pretty much you can go in there, choose any type of animal you want, the breed of the animal, the size of the animal, whether it's young or old, if it's good with kids, cats, good around families. There's a whole bunch of search criteria you can go into petfinder.com and enter, as well as your location. That way you can find a ton of available animals within your relative location that you can adopt. You know, I was in the pet store the other day, this past weekend, and it really upset me because I realized there were a lot of people in there, and I realized the problem with pet stores is puppies sell themselves. You really don't need an advertisement to sell a dog, and people don't realize this, that when they're in the pet store, these dogs could be very unhealthy dogs. They could have come from a really bad background, but all these people see are cute animals in the window that they want to buy. And it's really hard to get this point across as to the welfare of the animals and where they come from, because they sell themselves. All they see is a cute animal. And it really upset me seeing how the environment was and how it's portrayed as these animals are happy. And personally, I wouldn't be happy if I was sitting in a cage all day. That's just me. But to sum it up, you know, there are many ways to adopt a pet. It could be the best decision you've made in your life to adopt a pet, because you got to think about it. When you go to a breeder and you buy a pet, you bring the dog home, you love it, and that's fine. When you go to a shelter and you adopt a pet, you're saving that dog's life from being euthanized, in other words, killed. And not only that, you're creating a spot in that shelter for another animal to enter and hopefully be adopted. And I think you really need to consider that whenever you're bringing your next pet home. So thank you for your time, and thank you for hearing my speech. I hope y'all had a wonderful semester.
Just under 7 minutes.
Yeah, you might turn it off before we start talking.
Oh.